So another day of mental health. You know, it's been very insightful the last 3 days. You know, and so me and my son's father have been kind of going through things. Now, there's a specific pattern that he has when he meets somebody that he's interested in. And, he been running out here going to Applebee's a lot, right? And he don't like spending money, like, on going out to eat. And the shit that he's getting, it's like chicken tenders and stuff like that. We got food in the house. And then on top of that, it's like you trying to act tight with money. So, I'm sitting here, I'm talking to my spirit guys. I'm just like, he must have found another woman that he wishes he could pursue. And that's why he has this animosity towards me as well. You see, he always got so much shit going on with him. And, it's kind of like, because I'm just like, why is he acting so ungrateful for his life? Why is he sitting around criticizing, nitpicking at every little fucking thing? You know what I'm saying? Like, why is he just being petty and bitchy? Why is he doing all of these things? Like, why is he not able to handle shit? And it's because he got a woman on his mind. Now, in the past, he's dated women, and, women have come to pick him up from the home, and, he's gone to other women's home, pick him up, take him out, and all this type of stuff. So, he had that going on years ago, and then he ended up liking another woman. And it's kind of like, throughout the years, there have been women that he finds interesting, because there was a woman he was working with. And I remember one day, he starts fussing and complaining about me being here and how he can't find love and no woman is going to accept him because I'm here. And I'm looking at his ass like, welcome to the party, sir. Because don't no man want to deal with me neither in this situation. They'll get what they can get out of the situation, but I'm in the same boat as you, so you could cry me a fucking river. And that was the last time we had a conversation about that. And, throughout the years, he just develops this pattern, so I can tell when there's a woman that he's interested in. Because it's kind of like he starts hating everything in his life because he wished his life was open so he could bring another woman in. And we have had conversations about this, because I told him, I said, do not make me your punching bag for your misery. If you want to date a woman, you can go out here and date a fucking woman. You act like you going to try to move her in right away. I said, you got to pay to play. So if you want me and your son to give you some space so you can court a lady friend, you can have her over. If she want to spend the night, whatever the fuck you want to do, well, you need to take care of us. So you need to put us up in a hotel or something. Or, you need to give me some money so I can go spend a couple of days with my sister and you can do you. I tell you, boy, he got more excuses, and I'm sitting up here, I'm just like, if I want to have a romance, I got to travel far away from home. I have a friend that works in the medical field as an assistant, and it's stories for days about STDs around this motherfucker. You're going to find that wherever you go. But I'm just saying, I don't worry about stuff like that because I use protection. I slipped up, but I use protection. So I'm not worried about that, but I'm just saying. I said, great, here we go again with this bullshit. Well, I mean, usually I can talk him through I can talk him through things, but I ain't say nothing. I confronted him though, because he act like he's just so upset with his life and me and his son. But when he get on that phone and he talking to distance friends and all this type of stuff, he's just so happy. So I confronted him. I said, you seem to be real happy with strangers and people who are not in your life supporting you more so than you are for individuals who are here supporting you. I said, just think about what I said. You need to learn how to love what's yours. So anyway, he ain't say nothing. He tried to shoo me off or whatever. I was just like, whatever. You think about what I said. I'm just relieved, because I'm just like, he's hiding something. I know he's hiding something. He's hiding quite a bit, So I don't have no sympathy. I don't feel sorry for him and his feelings and emotions and him longing for love. We're in the same boat. Shit. At least when I meet somebody, I know how to keep myself in harmony and balance. Even though, it's a struggle and a tug of war with us. And we're not always the best towards each other. When I meet somebody, you'll never hear me switching up or wanting to blame you because I can't, a man can't court me. Shit. I tell you, our relationship is, it's open like that. Of course, in the beginning, we were typical, average, traditional couple relationship, but after some issues, separations, after the son came, and after we found out that our son was on the spectrum, shit had to change. And of course, I had to throw in the towel and surrender, which is fine. You got to make sacrifices for the children, and usually it is the woman that makes all the sacrifices. So usually, not all the time. So, it is what it is. I love my life. I'm grateful for my life, we'll say. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad that I'm still here and I'm just fucking living. And I get to live with my son. But I told him, I was like, you need to cut that shit out. So, because the thing is, he ain't gonna open up. I think it's somebody, I doubt that he's meeting up with somebody at Applebee's, because he puts in his order before. And he goes and he picks it up. So it's a woman that works at the Applebee's that he's interested in. I said, well, look at that. That's why his ass be acting so mean and intolerable with his life, because he's sitting up there jonesing for a woman, and he can't do things the way he wanted to do, and he probably sitting in his head thinking about his money, wishing he had more money. I tell you, women are poisonous. For some men, it's kind of like women are poisonous to them. Like, they just don't know how to act. They don't know. They just don't know, honey. I said he a trip. So here we go again. So I'm gonna see how long I'm gonna have to deal with this bullshit. But I may have to confront him because we done had so many conversations. If you want to go out here and date and do whatever, then you can go ahead and do that. Shit. Trying to blame me because he's scared to take a risk and jump out there. They're gonna try to blame me because I'm here. I'm just like, well, even if you meet another, you're not gonna move her in right away, and you can't just decide that you like somebody and you want them to get too close. Like, you need to be thinking about protecting your son too, because you don't know. That's what I'm saying. He got it good. He got it better than a lot of other men that are in relationships that they really don't want to be in, or partnerships. Like, bruh, I have no problem. I don't trust his attitude though, because sometimes he be getting arrogant. Whenever he get new things in his life, he starts losing gratitude for what he has, and he starts feeling like he's too good for what he had. It's just like, why can't you just stabilize? Why you just can't be stable? Like, what's up? What is up? So anyway, now I gotta watch him. I gotta study more of his goddamn behavior, because I'm about ready to confront him. Because it's kind of like, you are not happy, and whatever you feel like you need to do to be happy, you need to do that. I am not here to get in the way of your life or your happiness, because you're damn sure not going to get in the way of mine. And he can be very vindictive at times. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just whatever. His biggest thing with me, with dating somebody, he tells me, he's just like, if you're gonna mess around with somebody, then you need to make sure that he's giving you money. And I'm just like, great, now you're trying to put me in a tricking situation, because who the fuck am I gonna meet and, like, right off the bat, like, they're giving me money and stuff? Like, come on now, you're a man. That makes absolutely no sense, especially if he knows that I'm live with you. And then, in my past experience, they don't trust me because of my situation. So, I've had to settle for a couple of one night stands, but them shits, I stopped doing that, because there's no connection, there's no feeling. I can't really get into a man. Shit, I have my shallow times in the past, to where if he is appealing to me, then fine. But with meeting somebody, getting to know them, not knowing right away, because I'm gonna tell you, a woman knows if and when she gonna sleep with a man. She know. So I tried to, I don't know how to explain it. I can't believe this. He just got so much going on in his head, and he don't know how to deal with none of it. So, but he think that he's going to try to use me as some type of fucking puncher bag. He is so worrisome. I'ma tell you though, my spirit guide, my ancestors, they not feeling him. You know, my granddaddy came through because he and I was having a conversation. He was trying to be unreasonable. So I had to keep redirecting the conversation. So, you know, I felt myself getting frustrated. And then all of a sudden, I said, listen to me, son. I said, you sitting up here and you're looking too much for reasons to argue and fuss. I'm not here to fuss with you. Child, that was my granddaddy that came through. And, you know, I remember he was complaining because he was like, why are you walking so heavy? Right? So that's going to represent a deity. Right? So there's a deity that is connected to me. Right? You know, the ancients, you know what I'm saying? They're heavy. The soul is heavy. The spirit is heavy. So they walk heavy. So whenever I walk heavy, you know, I'm just like, oh, it must be a deity around me, or using my body as some type of altar to wake up or heal, you know. But, you know, I had came to him and I was loud because I had my headphones in. I said, you know what's a good idea? And I said it real loud. And when I walked up to him real fast and I said it in his face and it was loud. So he jumped back and he was just like, what's wrong with you? He was just like, he was like, I forgot. He ain't know what to do. He said, what's wrong with you? Why you stepping up in my face like you some football player? He said, look at your shoulders. Why your shoulders so broad? You charging at me, walking up to me all fast in my face, yelling at me like you trying to start something. That was another spirit guide. And you know, I didn't know. I was like, shut up. I was like, shut up. Let me live. I don't know. So, I hope he get it together. I just really hope his ass get it together. Because, I mean, he is just walking around like he is so miserable. But see, he in his head. And he probably sending me bad energy. And that's why them spirit guys keep popping through. See, I don't know what's going on. But they do. That's why they popping out like that. I was just like, oh my God, did I just call him son? I told him I won't try to disrespect him. I won't try to undermine him or belittle him. I said, man, that shit just came out. I said, I don't know. It just came out. It worked, though. It got his attention. I said, damn, granddaddy. Straight sunning that man. Oh my God. And he a trip. I told him before, I said, you sitting up here worried about a woman, but you're not ready to date. You have not been practicing. You supposed to be using me as practice, because that's what the fuck I've been doing with you. I've been utilizing this situation into molding me into a wife. I don't even think I'm ever going to get married. But, I mean, well, thanks for the experience. Shit, because I'm going to tell you, you know, after, baby, I don't want to get married. I don't want to get married. Obviously, if I do get married, I'm absolutely, positively, undeniably in love with that man. Because I done experienced, what married women, committed women, faithful women go through. When being married. I mean, it's not bad, but, child, I ain't signed up for this. I mean, it could be worse, so I'm not going to complain. Ooh, there's an extraterrestrial. There's a ship flying in the sky. Oh, it's two of them. Uh-oh. Mm-mm. Where is it going? Wow. Child, this man be stressing me out. I be, I don't even feel like getting into my art therapy. Maybe I do need to get into it, because my session is going to be about unplugging from the lust program and developing more intimacy with self. I don't know. I just been feeling like energetically, it's just been real discontent. And I'm just like, why do I constantly feel this discontentment? So now I know where it's coming from. Like, I cannot be in the same house with him for too long throughout the day. He works from home, and it's like his mental activity, his emotions, it's like he is just all over the place. And I know that it's rooting from him having a crush and him feeling and giving himself excuses as to why, he can't pursue his crush. And I'm just like, I just don't understand, because it's like, you got a son with me. If there's going to be another woman in your life and she's going to be around the son, and like, you and I have a decent relationship, so it's not like, even if we didn't live together, like, I wouldn't come see you, I wouldn't talk to you, I wouldn't see how you're doing. I just don't know what be going on in his mind. I really don't. But he's not talking about it, and I'm getting tired, because I'm just like, we have been dealing with each other for almost 20 plus years. Like, we should be developing a stronger friendship and foundation. Us having this child, and then this child having a permanent disability, a long-term disability, he's going to keep us connected. It's like, like, when are we gonna really grow up and mature? And I say we, not just him, even though, of course, I feel like it's just him. I'm not just gonna put it on him, though. But I do good. I do better with people from a distance. I do better with people from a distance. I mean, I'm a psychic medium, and there's always lots of unexplainable spiritual shit that's happening around me, to people I know that I'm around. So, I mean, I know it's not easy. I know sometimes he be getting freaked out by certain shit. I know he do. But I mean, you got a choice. You can tell me to leave, or you just gonna keep dealing with it. Shit. I told him, because we got into a real bad argument one day, years ago. I told him, I said, yeah, look at your ass now. In the beginning, you wanted to be vindictive because you didn't want to see me doing better than you, and you didn't want to see me with somebody else. So in the beginning, you made shit real hard. You wanted to be real indifferent and aloof because you wanted to keep me down, and you wanted to keep me limited to dealing with our son. You didn't want to be flexible and take on responsibility and burden that comes with dealing with an autistic son. And we're constantly having issues with these fucking teachers in the school. You know, you don't want to have to deal with that. You know, we could have worked something out to where we both take on everything. But the only thing that he wants to be responsible for is providing. Him as a human being, whatever you want to do, that's your choice, fine. I appreciate it. Because I'm trying to tell you, anytime my son need me, I'm always able to be there. And that is what I appreciate most. You know what I'm saying? My son called me, he say he need a mental health day. If he called me, I need to get out of school early, you know, or if there are issues going on in school with his teachers or peers, like, bitch, I'm able to get there. I don't have to worry about leaving my job and my job discrediting my work abilities because I got to be there for my son. That's one of the sacrifices that I made. But I told him, I was like, yeah, now you wish you weren't so vindictive, because 2 incomes would be a lot helpful than one. During the time when my son was younger, he's supposed to get like a social security check, but back then he couldn't get assistance without being on medication, and he doesn't need medication. You know what I mean? And I didn't want to lie and say I would give him the medication and never give him the medication, but I'm taking the money. I mean, a lot of people do that, but I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't want to have to dealing with fraud. You know what I'm saying? I remember one year I tried to get food stamps, and them people tried to get me for fraud. I'm just like, damn. I'm trying to come to you for some help and assistance, and you trying to catch me for fraud. You trying to put fraud on me? What type of shit is that? So I stayed away from social service. I stayed away from getting food stamps, all of that stuff. You know? Sometimes people will ask me, why you not doing this? Why you not doing that? And it's kind of like, oh my God, if only they knew. You know, I was already 10 steps ahead of them with their ideas, and the shit just did not work. I get so tired of explaining myself to people, you know, so. But I said, yeah, I bet you wish now that you wouldn't have been so unreasonable back then, and you would have been more supportive with me having a job instead of limiting me to being at home all goddamn day, which is fine. You know, in the beginning, no, it wasn't. I'm a single free woman. Now I have a child. Later on in the years, now I got to find out that my child, is on the spectrum. So I got to get focused, on the family shit and being a parent a little more now. Once I found out, once I start doing research on his condition, once I start sitting down thinking about his future, and he's high functioning autism, but if he has a bad mental health day and he kirks out somewhere, they gonna lock his ass up. I'm thinking about all that. So I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna stay at home. I'm gonna be with him. I'm gonna mentor him. That's what I did. It was a long time coming, because I want to say for about maybe 8 years, I was still trying to, the first 8 years of his life, I was still trying to put a career together for myself. But I was always faced with the choice between him and working. And of course, I chose him every time. So eventually I said, you know what? Let me just focus on being a mother. Let me focus on being a good one. And, I'll figure out my life through this journey. But I have a feeling that if I do not focus on my son wholeheartedly, he's going to suffer. And autism, that is a mental challenge. It's mentally challenging. At this time, I didn't know shit about mental health. I didn't care about any of this stuff. I got into a lot of this stuff because of my son. I wanted to learn. I wanted to understand. So we don't have to depend on medications, and we don't have to depend on going to specialists whenever we have questions. Like, I don't have to constantly go outside. I can learn things for myself, and I can learn how to help him at home. I wanted to homeschool him, but the school threatened to take me to court for truancy. I'm glad I didn't go through with that. I was really heartbroken, because I really did want to homeschool him, but truth is, I wouldn't have been patient enough to do that. I would have felt too much pressure for him to have to equate to, the standard, the expectation of him in order for him to pass each grade. I wouldn't have been able to do that. And that would have messed up our relationship, and he needs time away from me. He needs time away from the home. He needs to explore, experience other things, other people. You know what I'm saying? Oh, ay. It seemed like in my 20s, I felt like I was racing against time, because I wanted to get to the destination. Because I thought that there was a destination. I thought that I built my stability, and I just live a regular stress. Not even regular, but I live a stress-free life. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. I was green to the world, I don't know what I was thinking. But that's what I was thinking. I was just like, I have to hurry up and establish myself before a specific age, so I can just settle down within my life, and life will be all good. Absolutely not. That's not the way that life works. Right. But I mean, gotta talk about it. So what's somebody is nudging at me. You know, last night it was real active in my home. I'm just like, damn, somebody is really trying to get my attention. And it was at night. And every time I heard, because it started in the kitchen, fucking shit up in the kitchen, and then it moved to the blinds. The blinds they started fucking with the blinds. Then they started doing some shit in front of the door. I could hear like creaking and stuff in front of the door. And I'm just like, it's late at night. What's up? Why are y'all up? Like, what's waking me up? So I was called to do a reading. So when I did the reading, I saw somebody was trying to put a curse on me. You know, so they put the energy on the outside of the door, so that when I wake up in the morning, when I take the dog out, I'll run right into it. I'll run right into the curse. Okay? So I was just like, wow. You know, they do it the same way all the time. And I'm just like, the shit is not working. But then again, I'm just like, right, because they're being possessed. So anyway. It was so loud. Like, I'm just like, why is the activity so loud? I'm talking about they was rattling my blinds, dropping shit in the kitchen. It like I could see the energy moving. I didn't see an image or a figure. It's like I could see the energy just move from the kitchen to the living room. I'm just like, why are you moving around like you scared? Like, what's up? So I did my cards. That's what I saw. Today, I was under observation. So, you know, somebody tried to manipulate situations to put me under some type of observation, which was a bad mistake. But like, once again, they're being possessed. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's always going to work in my favor. Like, I'm not doing fucked up shit. I'm not doing shit I'm not supposed to be doing. You understand? Like, I don't know. I'm getting tired of repeating myself. But it's like people's insanity. Like, you need to break out of the insanity. You know? If you don't want to believe that somebody is who they say that they are, then just don't believe them. Why are you going the extra mile, planning divination, trying to find answers? You can just ask me. You trying to hide because you up to no good, and that's why that shit backfired. That shit was instant. The moment I start talking with doing my reading, I felt that shit disappear. Somebody, that shit was instant. It hit back instant. They weren't expecting that. You see, because they try to do stuff at night when they think that I'm asleep. But the thing is, I'm so immune now to the shit that they be doing. The moment they start speaking it, I will wake up. I'm trying to tell you, I woke up in the middle of them trying to do a ritual to where they was trying to bury me. I woke up, I said, why do it feel like it's a whole bunch of blankets on me? So then I was enlightened. Somebody was doing, they are trying to bury me. You know, they must have printed out my picture or something. They got something. And they sit up there trying to bury the shit. I tell you, yes sir, woke up interrupted those plans, and it was on a full moon. You know, they always trying to get me on a full moon. I'm a Cancer. My ruling sign is the moon. It's not going to make me more accessible to your fucking tricks. If anything, it's going to help me alchemize and harness it. And I think that that has been proven time and time again. I just don't always say, I just don't always speak up about it. But I know what the fuck be going on. And if I don't know what's going on right now, eventually I'm going to figure it out. It's going to come to me. I did go to the movies today. Me and my son saw Spider-Man. That was a beautiful movie. I don't know, I was so emotional today. You know, I was so, that movie was so triggering. It was so, I was just like, bruh, somebody is studying my life and turning it into movies. My intellectual property. I know. Nobody is sitting around and coming up with these ideas. There's no way. I'm being studied. I know. I have been being studied for a while. It's certain movies that I know. I appreciate it. It's beautiful. It's kind of like, you know, I'm giving the messages, but it's kind of like they turn the story of the messenger into a message, you know? Yes, I've been knowing that for some years too. Well, I appreciate that artistry, because I've also had people to where they be trying to plug, it's like they be trying to plug my intelligence into AI. You cannot do that. I know I've been on the government list for a minute. I know. They keep trying to study my patterns. They keep trying to get into my brain. You know, then they be trying to do experimentation. I be like, oh my God, can I just live? Can I just live? That's why, you know, human being, I don't be fucking with human beings too much. You know, well, extraterrestrials don't really. It's crazy. I went to go see Spider-Man, and I got a spider bite on the back of my neck. I said, ain't this about a bitch? I've been outside a lot, so I just be chilling. I don't care what crawl on me. I don't care. I just do not be caring. Ooh. I had to get that shit off my head. And who the fuck is this person? You know, there's somebody to where they tried to reject me. But the thing is that I didn't reach out. So somebody is feeling a little embarrassed. Like, what's up? You know, there's been gossip about me in the entertainment world once again. So, you know, motherfuckers is running their mouth and they think that they know me. I guess they trying to, I don't know what the fuck motherfuckers be trying to do. It's a couple of entertainers, they know not to fuck with me. It's quite a few of them, actually. I guess some people are still up to their shenanigans, as always. Well, like I tell people, I can sit here and warn you, but most people have to fuck around and find out, and that's unfortunate, because the clapback is not going to be fair. The clapback is going to be tenfold. So, I mean, and whoever was digging for information in my brain, yes, I have a beautiful mind, don't I? And you can't understand why I hide it. I don't feel like explaining that either. And then motherfuckers trying to study how I utilize and spend money. I believe that they have already tried to do that before. It's still the same, isn't it? Right. You see, because motherfuckers know I know what they be doing. They know. It's as long as I know what's going on, then I can just do what needs to be done. So a lot of the times they be trying to be slick, but you're not gonna it's not gonna work, because you're being possessed to do the shit in the first place. You're not in control. The moment that you bring me up and you start developing ill thoughts or ill feelings towards me, them entities attach to you immediately, and they're attached to me too. So I can hear certain conversations. I can hear people with certain plans. I can hear these things. It's being told to me. It's like a portal. They're opening up the portal for me to hear, for me to see what motherfuckers have planned for me. Right. Blow that horn. It's Judgment Day. Goddamn right. Stop fucking with me. Shit. But anyway, it's about my story. So, I mean, my life is pretty much gonna always have lots of stories to tell. Real, authentic stories, not lies. So anyway, I'm cleared out now, so I feel like I need to go ahead and prepare for my next session.